Hi everyone, welcome to How Do You Meditate, formerly called The Pollen Show. I am your host, Tyler Gravley, meditation teacher and wellness consultant. I am so grateful that you are here. This podcast is all about making meditation easy for ordinary people like you and me. I believe that when we are seeking meditation, we are seeking a lifestyle change that builds our strength mentally and physically, helps us find acceptance, instills personal growth, and unlocks the possibilities waiting for us. You can expect to hear stories on how other ordinary people find wellness in meditation and incorporate it into their everyday life. You will hear something in each episode that helps spark the light in you to shift and take control of your own mind, laugh, cry, and transform the space within so that you can answer the question when asked, how do you meditate? Let's dive in. This episode is sponsored by Arbonne 30 Days to Healthy Living. The 30 Days to Healthy Living is a program that offers you an approachable plan to get you on track with good habits that can support long-term wellness. It's a holistic approach focusing on a routine of whole foods coupled with vegan protein shakes and select nutritional supplements. It's taken me years to find something without the chemicals in it that actually works. You can find more on my website at tylergravley.com. Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of How Do You Meditate? I'm so grateful to be sitting here with you, and I do realize that you could be doing anything else in the world right now, and you are here with me, listening to my voice and spending this time with me, and I know that your time is precious, and I truly honor you for being here. This episode has been one that I've been thinking about a lot. And it's also, I just want to be clear that I'm going to be very open today for you. And I'm just going to start with that. So, in the meantime, let's take a deep breath together. And a deep breath out. And just get present to your space, where you're at, what you're doing. And take a moment to honor yourself for being here. So, what's been on my heart a lot lately is healing after heartbreak. And one of my mentors has always shared, ever since I've started listening to her, your purpose is in your pain. And the pain that I carry isn't always easy to share, especially if it's still very raw and real and not something that has been, or that I've given the time to heal from and objectively look at. And so I felt called this morning to talk to you today about being, like what it physically feels like being with you and your experience of yourself. And a lot of this comes from my experience of being with myself and relearning and regaining clarity. As I was looking up statistics this morning about heartbreak, obviously there's the normal, quote unquote, normal statistics of divorce and how many marriages end up in divorce. Many years ago, I went through a divorce myself. And I ended up taking a divorce class when at the church, I was seeking a community, trying to find myself again. And there was a class and it said, 50% of first marriages end in divorce. The second time around, it's 60%. And the third time around, it's 75%. And the fourth time around, it's 90%. And it astonished me that I thought, oh my gosh, I'm like really set up for failure here. I already, made it through the first round, chances of succeeding in the next round are looking even worse. And so it set me out on this path to really figure out how to do it right and how to prevent that from happening in the future. So it's been nearly 9 years, and I've obviously gone through periods of dating and having a boyfriend. I've gone through the periods of being single. I really, truly been through a lot of therapy and transformation courses. And I'm even in one now on a leadership course that lasts until October. And I've wanted to so badly understand I don't want to say the complications, but like the ability to learn about yourself and how to pick yourself back up after such a heartbreak has occurred for you. And I should speak in first person, after a heartbreak occurred for me. And as one of the things I learned as I went on this meditation and mindfulness journey is the things start to fall away, and friends start to fall away. As you become more awake and more conscious and you start to see the reality of situations, then you probably experience this for yourself, that friends you used to have, you no longer have. And it doesn't have to be with that love of your life type situation. It's more or less, a friendship that might have been lost. And how do you find yourself after that? How do you reevaluate your situation and pick everything back up? You understand, of course, obviously, that after a loss of such, you are picking yourself back up. You're going, oh my gosh, my life is so different. The person I used to speak to all the time is no longer around. And it's really a moment to lean into and to understand more about yourself, more about how your brain works, what the rackets are saying. I seem to really like heartbreak, obviously, it's because it's happened to me so much. And it's one of those moments that I find actual grounding and clarity in. And I when I sit afterwards, I look at it again and I can take it all the way back to the beginning and go, oh my gosh, there's that red flag. Why didn't I listen to that initial red flag? Holy crap. I don't know how I miss those things sometimes until you get out of that like fall in love phase, quote unquote, and you go, oh my gosh, yeah, I get it. I totally get it. And there's this piece that I witness a lot as other people have gone through breakups that I really want to help with. There's a piece where you're going to want to complete the circle. I call it completing the circle, but there's some unfinished business between the two of you, whether it's a friend or a lover. And that's where I'm speaking to. And there are things that may have hurt you that you want that person to say they are sorry for. And you want to be right about. And they have things, I'm sure, that they want you to apologize for and that you want to say, I'm sorry about. And it really takes consciousness, mindfulness, a place of response to be witness and to open up the possibility that that could even occur. It takes dropping any resentment, any guard, it's being that vessel of the conscious and of self-love and knowing that you're doing the right thing, even though at the moment it may not feel right. And I hope that makes sense. So for me, in the most recent loss, there was a lot of things that I should have not. I had a lot of reasons to not pick up the phone and answer when the time has come to clarify, these apologies. I had every reason in the world. And because it wasn't my decision for the breakup, I felt like I just needed to take care of myself. And to be able to sit here with you today and kind of get that tingling in my throat, but to talk about it is a miracle. And I'm tearing up because it's a miracle, because of the work, and it's a testament to what I've done. the possibility that I stand in and I stood for was for him to be the best version of himself. And I know that he's a wonderful human being and that we all have these moments of regret or things that we take action on because of our past wounds. I understand that. And I have the biggest empathy for that. And I can't even tell you how long I waited for an apology that I knew I would never get. I assumed that I would never get it. And I stayed open on the phone call, even though there were moments that I wanted to react. And it completed the circle for me. I got my apology. I was able to give my apology for saying, hey, this is my responsibility also, because I didn't honor myself in the beginning, and this was a red flag for me. And I felt so complete. It was the feeling of like you landed at a beach, like I felt energetically uplifted. I felt at peace. And what I didn't realize is that even by hearing his voice, it was, and I don't know the exact terminology. I'm not a therapist, but I do know that it's when you hear that person's voice and you see that person that you loved so much, it provides like oxytocin and dopamine and all the good hormones. And so, later in the week, I want to hear his voice again, and I don't understand why, and I realize it was like a drug for me. And what's so funny about humans, and this is something that I'm not sure if you are familiar with, but it's something that I learned, is that the person that causes the pain is also the only person that can take the pain away. So in a weird effed up way, they're the only ones that can take it away too. So as we go back into the beginning of this and, we're experiencing ourselves and relearning to ground and who are we, there's this, yeah, but I love him, that piece that comes up, or yeah, but I miss him, or yeah, but, and there's so many yeah, buts because we want to be, who doesn't want to be seen and heard and loved? And we give up ourselves in order to get what we think we need to feel seen and heard and loved by the partner that we dreamed up. And whether it's we learned how to love through our parents and this partner's not any good for us, or we think we made all the right choices and the partner still didn't work out. And the thing that I've really leaned into is the only constant is change. And even though statistics say the longer you're together, the less likely you are to separate, it doesn't matter, because we all know that one person who's been married for 30 years and they divorced. They've been married for 40 years. They divorced. They were together for 2 years. It was looking like marriage. It's ended. So it's interesting because we all have that and we all know that. We know those people. So when you've gone through heartbreak and you're at home crying, and of course, like your support system of your friends and your family, they love you so much and they want to support you. And I can't even imagine as a mother, that your children are going to experience this, but how? Because all you want to do is take away their pain. All you want to do is go like, oh my God, how can I help them? And your family and friends can be there for you for so long until you just want to talk to somebody else who's going through the same thing. And this is where I love support groups. I really am a big fan of Al-Anon, AA. They seem to have forever and ever done something right without a lot of marketing, without a lot of branding. It's just you show up and the pain is shared because it is not meant to be held on to alone. And we are not meant to carry all of this weight on our shoulders alone. So healing after a heartbreak and healing after you lose a friend, healing after you start on this awakening journey is going to be something that you're going to have to do over and over and over and over again as you continue to grow. Because as you continue to grow and you continue to seek the reality of situations, each and every moment of your life is an opportunity to look at yourself and understand the racket and the machinery and the ability to live in possibility. And it's totally, you can do it. If I can do it, and I'm telling you, I come from a really dark space of seeking men in order to help me heal and to make me feel good and to do better. And it's crazy because I never saw it. I just assumed it. And now I can see all of the wires in my brain, like all the mumbo jumbo. And that is literally what mindfulness and meditation does. It gives you this permission slip to look at your stuff and go like, well, why would I think that? That's interesting. Why do I do that? I'm not sure. Where does that come from? What did I make that mean? Someone sends me a text. What did I make that mean? It's so funny because literally somebody could send you a text and what do you think about it? Do you think like, oh my God, they love me. Oh my gosh, they're, whatever it might be. I can't even think of the millions of things I've ever thought of. And I really have to take space and look at my side of the road all the time, constantly reevaluating. So one of the things that has always worked for me right after something like this of losing a friend or a lover is sitting down and spending time in the energy that lifts me up. Whether that's a shower, whether that looks like a long bike ride, if it looks like spending time with my dogs, friends, family, going out, it's picking myself up over and over and over again and really paying attention to the energy within my body. I love, love, love doing this because it's the universe, whatever you call it, spirit wants. There's no shame or no guilt that lives in that space. Seriously, it's this unbelievable. It even surpasses like when you're really, really, really in love. It surpasses that, like that feeling times 10. So for me, it's like, okay, I'm going to get up, I'm going to go out and I'm going to follow the energy. And that has to be the hardest part, especially as I'm looking back on it. And then that first initial week, it's like, it's the heart wrenching. It's heart sinking. It's awful. Taking a deep breath because I wouldn't wish it on anyone ever. And I'm so sorry if you've ever had to experience that for yourself. I'm so sorry that it hurts so much. And I'm so sorry that you had to feel that unloved, that unseen, that raw. And I wish that you never had to do that. So right now, right here in this space, wherever spot you're in and whatever this brought up for you in this moment that we created together of you and I listening and hearing my story, I would encourage you that you've been through so much worse and you've always been able to get back up. And if you want to understand more, like, how do I prevent this? How do I freaking not do this again? Then we really need to sit down and spend some time together, because you and I could go through a list of needs and wants and desires, and we can figure that out together. And I know that once that is done and complete and we get healing from that, the possibilities are endless. And you can sit here and you could start a podcast. You could talk about what really hurt you to encourage other people to get through it as well. And sit out with it objectively and not being the victim, not being the person that you don't want to be. So, with that being said, and I know in the beginning we talked about the experience of being, I'm going to end with a little 2-minute meditation. So wherever you are, I want you to close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in and a deep breath out. Take a moment to just hear that stillness. Hear and feel the air around you. Take pleasure in this place of constant, which is you and your body. Continue to breathe in and out. And perhaps you notice that a lot is going on in there. There's just a lot of energy here that is present. That internal chitter chatter, and allowing it to just be there. Thanking it for its service of protection, its service of criticism, and its service of self-love. And take one hand to your heart. And just be present with the space between your hand and your chest. And honoring that all places of decision and listening that come from here is the truth. And just imagine yourself doing your most favorite thing in the world. Whatever comes to mind is just right. Just feel what that feels like. One last breath in and a breath out. I am absolutely here to hold space for you. I love you. And I see you and I get it. I hope you have the most amazing week. Again, I want to thank you for being here. I want to honor you for showing up. And we'll talk soon.